Hey friends! Today I'll be sharing with you a cute high-waist bikini bottom pattern that is easy and fast to make. Here is the Candy Twist crochet bikini bottom that is stretchy and absolutely water approved. And if you're new to my channel and want in on all the latest patterns, then go ahead and click that subscribe button below. For today's pattern, I'm using Cascade Fixation Spray Dye yarn in the color Spring Bouquet. You'll also need a 2.5mm hook, a couple of stitch markers, a tapestry needle, measuring tape, and a pair of scissors. Let's start with some chains. Working from the front to the back, I'll be making 42 chains as my foundation row. I'm working on size medium, but I also have 8 other sizes in the link that I've placed in the description box below. Once we've reached the end of the chain, we'll chain once more to start the next row. On the next row, we'll be working half double crochet stitches, so we'll yarn over, insert a hook to that second chain from our hook, drop a loop, yarn over, and pull through all loops. This will be your first half double crochet stitch. Continue to work half double crochet stitches on each chain all the way across. On your last row, we'll chain 1 and turn our work. Next, we'll be working decreases. So go ahead and work a half double crochet 2 together on that first and second stitch. Then continue working single half double crochet stitches all the way across until you've reached the third last stitch. For the last 2 stitches, go ahead and work a decrease of half double crochet 2 together to close the row. You'll chain 1, turn your work, and repeat the last row of decreases on the first and last stitch for a total of 15 rows, and I'll meet you back here once we're there. Once you've completed all your rows, you should have 12 stitches remaining. Now you'll chain 1, turn your work, and work even numbers on each stitch for a total of 15 rows. Once you've completed all your rows, it should look something like this. Now you'll grab a stitch marker and place it on the 5th last row, as this will be your fold point or the center of your bikini bottom. And this is how it should be once folded. Now we'll be working on increases to complete the back of the bikini. So let's go ahead and insert a hook. We'll chain 1 to start the next row. Now we'll work 2 half double crochets on that first stitch to increase. Then we'll half double crochet all the way across. And on that last stitch, you'll work 2 half double crochets to increase. Chain 1, turn your work, and repeat this last row of increases on that first and last stitch for a total of 21 rows, or until you've reached the same length as the front piece. Once you've completed all your rows, it should look something like this, wider at the back, and when you fold at the stitch marker, it should fit the same length as the front. Now, from your last stitch, we'll insert our hook and we'll be working on the side bands. For size medium, we'll be working 31 chains. Once completed, attach the chain to the front of the bikini on that first stitch and work a slip stitch. Chain 1 to secure and bind off. Now we'll repeat the same thing on the other side, but starting from the front bikini, you insert your hook at the corner, drop a loop, and work up the same number of chains as you did earlier. Once you've completed your chains, pick up the back bikini, insert your hook through that first stitch at the corner, slip stitch, and chain 1. Now before we proceed on working on the side bands, you want to make sure that when both sides are stretched outwards, you get a width of 19.5 inches or approximately 74 centimeters in width. This width should be slightly bigger than your hips. Now we'll turn our work, working our way towards the chains, and we'll work half double crochet stitches on each chain, and make sure that you work your first stitch on that slip stitch that you made earlier. So continue working half double crochet stitches all the way across, and continue to work half double crochet stitches on each stitch in the round, and I'll meet you back here once we're done. Now on your last stitch, you just slip stitch onto the first stitch to join, chain 1, and turn your work. On our next round, we'll insert a hook through that slip stitch that we made earlier and work a half double crochet. We'll continue working half double crochet stitches on each stitch all the way in around. Slip stitch onto the first stitch to join. Now for our round 3, chain 10, we'll skip the next stitch and single crochet onto the following stitch. We'll repeat the chain 10, skip 1, single crochet in the round, and I'll meet you back here just before closing this round. Now for the last loop, we'll work 5 chains. We'll yarn over 4 times and work a triple treble on that first stitch to close up this round. Next, we'll chain 10 again. So instead of working through the front of the loop, we'll insert a hook through the back of the loop, like so, and work a single crochet. This will give our loop a little twist. So let's do that again. We'll chain 10, insert your hook through the back of the loop, work a single crochet, and you'll get a twisted loop. So repeat this pattern in the round, and I'll meet you back here just before closing. Now on the last loop, we'll chain 5 just like we did on the previous row. We'll yarn over 4 times and work a triple treble stitch on the first loop. Now for the next stitch, we'll chain 1. We'll insert a hook through the back of the loop and work up a single crochet. You'll chain 1, make sure it's slightly loose, insert your hook through the back of the next loop, and work a single crochet. Continue working this pattern in the round, and I'll meet you back here on the last loop. On that last stitch, we'll chain 1, and because we need to make one more loop over here, on that last loop we'll just twist it and insert a hook through that loop that we made and work a single crochet. So this will complete all the loops and all the twists in this row. Now for the next row, we'll insert a hook to that first stitch and work a half double crochet. Next, you'll work a half double crochet in the chain space. Continue working half double crochet stitches on each stitch and on each chain space in a round, and I'll meet you back here once we're done. Slip stitch onto the first stitch to close this round. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now we'll be working on the wrong side of the bikini. Through the previous slip stitch that we did earlier, we'll work a half double crochet. Continue to work half double crochet stitches on each stitch all the way in the round. On your last stitch, you'll slip stitch onto the first stitch to join. Now go ahead and prepare your elastic band. Here I have a black elastic band, and place it between your hook and your working yarn. Work a single crochet to secure. Now to the slip stitch that you made earlier, we'll work a single crochet on each stitch all the way in the round while working around the rubber band. You'll continue working the single crochet stitch in the round until the last 10 stitches, and I'll meet you back here to close the band. Now just before closing up the band, you want to pull each side of the rubber band enough to give it a taut finish. Just pull on each side like this until you get a little bunched up piece. Then you'll want to drag the bunched up side outwards. Just make sure it's not bunched up too much, and it should look something like this once you're done. Now you can just snip off the excess rubber band and work up a knot. It's best to work up a double or triple knot, whichever you prefer. So once that's all tight and secure, we'll pick up our hook and finish working on each single crochet stitch while working around the knot until the last stitch. Slip stitch onto the first stitch to join, and chain 1 to secure. And now you have an invisible knot. Just go ahead and snip off the excess rubber band and bind off. And once you're done with the band, it should still be slightly bigger than your hips when stretched outwards. And remember, this works really well only if you're using stretchy yarns. Now let's go ahead and work on the leg opening. You'll turn your work to the crotch side, making sure that you're still facing the right side, and insert your hook anywhere along the crotch, drop a loop, pick up your rubber band, and place the rubber band behind your work between your working yarn and your hook, and chain 1 to secure. Now we'll work 2 single crochet stitches on each row while working around the rubber band, and I'll meet you back here once we've reached the sides. Once you've reached the band side, just continue working single crochet stitches on each stitch across. Repeat the same steps in the round, and I'll meet you back here 10 stitches before closing. Now just like before, we'll pick up the ends of the rubber band and pull them tightly. And now we'll loosen them by dragging the sides outwards. And once they look something like this, we'll snip off the excess rubber band. We'll work 2 knots. and we'll single crochet around the knot and slip stitch to close the round. Chain 1 to secure and bind off. Now you can also snip off the excess rubber band and repeat the same steps on the other side. So I've just completed the other side of the leg opening and I'm all done. Let me know in the comment section if you made this bikini bottom too. And don't forget to also check out the matching bralette. I've placed a link right here. I hope you had fun making this pattern, and if you did, do give me a thumbs up. And if you wish to see more free tutorials like this, go ahead and click that subscribe button below. I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.